The girl at the food court. Liam sat alone at table 14 in the busy food court of Station 9. It was lunchtime, and the space station was full of workers, travelers, and students. He had just finished class and bought a tray of fries and a fizzy drink. The fries were hot and salty, just the way he liked them. He dipped one in ketchup and slowly chewed, enjoying the little piece he had. Then he noticed her. In the far corner of the food court, a girl was sitting alone. She looked young, maybe his age, but there was something strange about her. Her skin was pale, almost glowing, and her long silver blue hair fell over her shoulders like silk. Her eyes were bright, glowing slightly, like stars trapped in glass. She wore a tight black bodysuit with strange glowing lines running down her arms. She was beautiful, more than beautiful, but she looked scared, lost, and hungry. Liam noticed that she wasn't eating anything. She just stared at his tray of fries, her eyes wide, like a child seeing food for the first time. For a moment, their eyes met. She quickly looked away. But she didn't stop staring at the fries. Liam looked around. No one else seemed to notice her. She sat in silence, like a ghost in a crowd. He hesitated, then picked up a few fries and walked toward her. "Hey," he said softly, "are you okay?" She didn't answer. Her eyes stayed on the fries in his hand. Slowly, he placed them on a napkin in front of her. "You can have these," he said, smiling a little. She looked up at him with wide eyes, like she didn't understand. Then, with fast, careful hands, she took the fries and ate them. One by one, slowly at first, then faster, like she hadn't eaten in days. Liam watched, surprised. She didn't speak, but she nodded once, like a thank you. Then she stood and walked away, disappearing into the crowd. The next day, Liam came back to the same food court, same time, same table. He ordered fries again. Part of him wondering if she would return, and she did. She sat at the same spot in the corner. Watching him silently, he smiled and waved. This time, he bought an extra tray of fries and placed it on the table next to him. She slowly walked over, sat down, and began to eat. Still silent, still intense. She was close now, and Liam could see the strange patterns glowing under her skin. It looked like moving light, like tiny circuits under glass, as she ate. Two of Liam's classmates walked by. "Hey Liam, who's your new friend?" One of them joked. The other laughed and tried to pat Liam on the shoulder. Suddenly, the girl froze. Her eyes flashed, and she let out a low growl. It wasn't loud, but it was deep and wild, like an animal warning others to stay away. Both boys stopped, startled. "Whoa, okay," one said, raising his hands. "Easy, we're just saying hi." They walked away quickly. Whispering to each other, Liam looked at the girl, shocked. She had returned to eating as if nothing had happened. "Did you just growl?" he asked, half laughing. She didn't answer, but Liam felt something strange. She wasn't just a girl. There was something different, something not human, and yet she wasn't threatening, not to him at least. She seemed calm, almost gentle, until someone came too close. Over the next few days, she kept coming back. Never speaking, always watching, always eating the fries he brought. Liam started calling her Sira in his mind. He didn't know why. The name just felt right. She never smiled, but she stayed close to him. When he walked around the food court, she followed. Not like a lost pet, but like a silent guardian. People started noticing her. "Is that your girlfriend?" One asked. Liam blushed and shook his head, but he didn't deny it either. One evening, as the lights dimmed and most people left, Liam stayed behind. Sira was still sitting with him, quiet, peaceful. "I don't know who you are," he said softly, "but I'm glad you're here." She looked at him, and for the first time, she smiled. It was small, soft, but it made her face shine like the stars outside the station windows. Just then, the lights flickered. A cold wind passed through the food court. Though no doors were open, Sierra's eyes flashed again, but not in warning this time. In fear, Liam sat up straight. "What's wrong?" he asked. She looked toward the shadows in the far hallway. Then she whispered her first words, her voice shaking. "They found me." Liam didn't sleep much that night. The girl's last words echoed in his head. They found me. Who were they? Why was she running? And what was she, really? He had so many questions, but when he checked the food court security cams the next morning on the school terminal, something was strange. There was no footage of her. Not just that moment, none at all. It was like she didn't exist on camera. He asked the food court manager, an old man named Griggs. "Hey, do you know that girl?" "She's been coming by lately." Griggs frowned and shook his head. "What girl?" she said. "No one new's been here, just the regulars." Liam felt cold inside. Was she invisible to others? Or were they pretending not to see her? Later that day, Liam brought fries again and waited. She appeared like before, quiet, calm, watching. She sat down beside him, closer than usual. He looked at her, really looked. Her face was beautiful, but different. Her eyes were too bright, her skin too smooth. No scars, no freckles. No flaws, like she was carved from light. "Sierra," he whispered, testing the name he'd made for her. She turned to him, eyes soft but curious. "You're not from here, are you?" he asked. She didn't speak, but she didn't look away either. Liam sighed. "I just want to help," he said. She stared at him for a long moment, then held out her hand. Her fingers were slim and long. But her touch was warm. She gently touched the side of his head, and suddenly he saw things, not with his eyes, but in his mind, flash images, like memories. A planet with purple skies, floating cities, and tall, glowing towers. A war, explosions, metal ships, alien soldiers, and her Sierra running through fire and darkness. Then the vision stopped. Liam gasped and pulled back. "What was that?" he whispered. She didn't answer, but her eyes were sad. She had shared her past. Without words, that night, Liam stayed late in the station's learning center. He searched old news archives, science reports, classified files. There were rumors, years ago, a ship had crashed near Station 9. The military said it was an asteroid. But people whispered it was something else. Alien contact, covered up, forgotten, buried. Could she be from that ship? Had she survived alone, hiding all this time? The next day, he brought fries again. But before he could say anything, his classmate, Max, walked over. "Liam, you're seriously eating with her again?" He laughed. "Is she even real? Or just your space crush?" Max reached out like he was going to touch Sierra's shoulder. In a blink, she stood up. Stepping between them, her eyes flashed bright white, her body glowing faintly. Then she growled. Not like before this time, it was louder, sharper, like a warning shot from a wild animal. Everyone nearby stopped and turned, staring. Max froze. He laughed nervously and stepped back. Okay, chill," he said. Walking away fast, Sierra sat down again, calm as ever. Liam stared at her, his heart beating fast. "You don't like people touching me," he said, smiling slightly. She looked at him with those glowing eyes and nodded. The next evening, Liam followed her. She usually disappeared fast, but this time, she didn't run. She led him through the back corridors of the station, where no one ever went. Dark metal walls, blinking lights, quiet humming of machines. Then she stopped in front of a wall. She placed her hand on a panel, and the wall shimmered. A hidden door opened, and they walked inside. It was an old storage room, dusty, broken lights. But in the center was a glowing circle, pulsing gently. Symbols floated above it, none that Liam could read. "Alien symbols. This is where you stay." He asked. She nodded. He looked around and felt a deep sadness. This girl, this powerful, glowing, mysterious girl, had been living in the shadows. Hiding like a ghost, suddenly, a soft click echoed from the hallway. Sierra froze, eyes going sharp. Someone was here. She grabbed Liam's arm and pulled him behind a crate. A figure stepped into the room, tall, wrapped in black armor. Its face was hidden, but its movements were fast and smooth. It scanned the room with red eyes and let out a sound. A growl like hers, but lower, colder. Liam's breath caught in his throat. Sierra's hand tightened on his arm, her eyes blazing. The figure turned its head toward their hiding spot, and then everything went silent. Liam whispered, "Who is that?" Sierra replied softly, "My hunter." The silence in the hidden room was heavy. Liam held his breath, crouched behind an old supply crate. Sierra crouched beside him, her glowing eyes fixed on the figure in the shadows. It moved with slow steps, scanning every corner. It didn't look human. Its armor was black like midnight, with red lights pulsing across its chest. Its face was hidden behind a smooth helmet, and the air around it shimmered like heat waves or energy. Sierra whispered without moving her lips, "That's not one of yours." Liam nodded slowly. "Yours, then?" he asked, his voice barely a breath. Sierra's face darkened. "Yes, but not friend." The armored creature turned toward the crates. Liam's heart pounded so loud he thought the thing might hear it. But then, just before it stepped forward, stopped. A beep came from its wrist, and it turned away. In seconds, it vanished through the hidden door, disappearing like smoke. Liam collapsed against the crate, breathing hard. Sierra stood up, calm but alert. "They are searching," she said, "for me." She walked to the center of the room and touched the glowing circle. It responded to her hand, rising into the air and opening like a flower. Inside was a projection floating. Images, alien symbols, and a planet Liam had never seen before. "What is this place?" he asked, standing beside her. "My memory," she said. "My last connection to home." The planet on the screen spun slowly. Beautiful and strange. Oceans that glowed purple. Forests of silver leaves and cities floating in the sky. "It's gone now," she whispered, destroyed by fear. "By humans?" Liam stepped back, shocked. "What do you mean?" Sierra looked at him, her eyes soft but sad. "Your people found us, studied us, then feared us. They came with weapons, fire, and silence. I escaped." Liam felt cold. He had never learned this in school, the official records said. No intelligent alien life had ever made contact, had it all been a lie. "Why would they do that?" he asked. Sierra's gaze turned away. "Because we are different," she said. "Because we can do this." She raised her hand, and the air around her shimmered. A small ball of light formed in her palm, spinning. Slowly, it danced like fire, but felt cold. Then it broke into tiny orbs and floated around Liam. He reached out, and one touched his hand, didn't burn. It felt like music. He smiled. "That's beautiful." Sierra nodded. "To you, maybe?" she said, "but to others." Dangerous, the orbs vanished, and the projection faded, suddenly. The walls of the room flickered again. An alarm blinked once on the far panel. "They found this place," Sierra said, her voice tense. "We must go." They ran through the back tunnels, twisting and turning through metal halls and maintenance routes no one used anymore. The station was quiet, here too quiet. No voices, no lights, only shadows and echoes, as they reached a dead-end hallway. Sierra stopped. She knelt beside the floor panel, her hands glowing. The panel lifted, revealing a vertical shaft with a ladder. "Down," she said. Liam looked inside. It was dark, narrow, and smelled like rust. "Are you sure?" he asked. She nodded once. Safer than here. They climbed down into the dark. The ladder went deeper than Liam thought the station could go. When they reached the bottom, The air was heavy. This level wasn't on any map. Old signs, broken doors, and strange writing covered the walls. "What is this place?" Liam asked. Sierra looked around with a hint of fear. "Where secrets sleep," she said. They entered an old chamber with glass tubes lined along the walls, inside them floating. In liquid were shapes. Some looked human, some didn't. One of them looked like Sierra. Liam's hands shook. "What is this?" He whispered. "Tests," she said. "Experiments from your side." Sierra placed her hand on one tube. And it lit up. A faint recording played a human voice, cold and professional. Subject 7 remains unresponsive. It said, "DNA hybrid. Unstable. Termination scheduled." Liam turned to her. "You were Subject 7. Sierra nodded. "I escaped before they could end me, before he could speak." A loud clang echoed from the shaft. Someone or something was climbing down fast. Sierra's glow returned, brighter this time. Her body pulsed with light, her eyes sharp and ready. Liam backed up, unsure what was about to happen. "Who's coming?" he asked. Sierra's voice was cold now. "My past," she said, "and your future." The metal rungs of the ladder shook with each step. Something heavy was climbing down, fast, focused, and close. Us. Liam's breath caught in his throat. He looked at Sierra, who was glowing brighter than before. The strange symbols on her bodysuit were alive now, pulsing like veins of light. Her eyes locked on the shaft above. "They sent a hunter," she said, "stronger than before." Liam had never seen her look afraid, not until now. "Where do we go?" he asked quickly. Sierra turned toward a sealed side door. She held her palm to the wall. No button, no panel, just touch. The metal melted open like wax. Behind it was darkness. "We run," she said. They sprinted through narrow tunnels. Pipes hissed from above, and dust shook from the ceiling. The entire station seemed to groan, like it could feel the weight of what was coming. Behind them, a loud thud echoed. The hunter had reached the lab. Now it was following. Liam pushed himself to run faster. His legs burned, but fear kept him going. He looked at Sierra. She moved like wind, fast and silent, but her face was tight with pain. She was hiding it well, but she was weakening. They turned into a wide passage filled with old cargo containers. Sierra stopped and pulled Liam behind a tall crate. She placed her hand on his chest. Her fingers glowed faintly. "You must leave," she whispered. "I'll stop him." "No," Liam said quickly. "You can't fight that thing alone." Sierra looked into his eyes. "I was made to fight alone before." He could argue. The wall at the far end of the hall exploded inward. Metal flew like knives, and smoke filled the air. The hunter stepped through, its body larger than before. A strange black fluid moved under its armor like it was alive. Its red eyes fixed on Sarah. "Target found," it said in a mechanical voice. Subject 7 returned for containment. Sarah stood in front of Liam, her body rising with energy. "No," she said firmly. "I choose my path." The hunter raised its arm, a weapon forming from its wrist. Sierra moved first. A wave of light exploded from her body. Throwing the hunter back, it crashed through 3 containers before landing on its feet again. The lights above flickered. Sierra's glow began to fade. She had used too much power. Liam ran to her side. She was breathing hard. He held her up. "Come on," he said. "There has to be another way out." Sierra pointed toward a vent shaft. Small, tight, but maybe enough. Liam helped her in first, then crawled in after. Behind them, the hunter roared, metal grinding against metal. It was chasing again. The vent was dark and narrow. Liam's hands scraped on bolts and rust. Sierra moved slowly now, her strength nearly gone. "We're close," she said, "to the launch hangars." They reached the end and dropped into a hallway. This part of the station was cold and empty. Most people didn't come here. It was where old ships were stored. Liam knew they had one chance. "We need a ship," he said. Sira nodded, barely standing. He grabbed her hand and led her through the rows of decommissioned vessels. Most were dead, no power, no fuel, no chance. But at the far end, behind a metal curtain, sat an old scout ship, dusty, scratched, forgotten, but intact. Liam ran to the hatch and pressed the manual override. Nothing. He cursed under his breath. Sira stepped forward, placed both hands on the control panel. Her glow surged. The ship responded. Lights came on. Engine hummed low. "She's alive," she said, smiling weakly. The hunter's footsteps echoed from the far corridor. It was close again. Liam pulled Sira inside, locked the hatch, and ran to the pilot seat. He had trained in simulators, but never flown for real. Still, his hands moved with confidence. "Just trust me," he whispered. Outside, the hunter raised its arm. A laser fired, striking the ship's hull, but not breaking it. The scout ship roared to life. With a sharp jolt, it lifted off the ground and shot forward. Through the emergency doors, down the long launch tunnel. Toward the stars, Liam looked back. Through the rear screen, he saw the station fading away, and the hunter standing still. Watching them go, he turned to Sira. She was lying in the co-pilot seat, eyes closed, breathing slow. "Don't you die." "Now," he said quietly, "we're not done." Her lips moved, barely a whisper. "I'm not going anywhere." As they crossed into deep space, the ship's computer lit up. Incoming transmission detected. Liam stared at the screen. It wasn't from the station. It was from another ship, one that shouldn't exist. The message read, "Sira, it's time." The stars outside the window drifted by like silent ghosts inside the scout ship. It was quiet, too quiet. Only the soft hum of the engine and Sira's breathing filled the space. Liam sat beside her, his hand resting gently on hers. She hadn't opened her eyes since they escaped, but her body still glowed faintly. The ship's computer repeated the same message every few seconds. "Incoming transmission, encrypted channel. Identity, unknown." He pressed a button on the console. The screen blinked, and a face appeared. It wasn't human. The being looked ancient. Its face, marked with glowing lines. Its eyes were pure white, no pupils, no warmth. And yet, there was something familiar in its expression. "Subject 7, it said calmly, "Sira, if you are hearing this, your evolution has begun." Liam leaned closer. "What the hell does that mean?" he whispered. The voice continued, "You were never meant to remain unchanged. You are not a soldier, not an experiment, not a tool. You are the seed of our future." Liam stared at the screen, confused and shaken. Then he heard a whisper beside him, "Sira." He turned and saw her eyes open slowly. She was awake, but different. Her skin was brighter now. The patterns across her body were glowing in rhythm with her heartbeat, and behind her eyes was something new, something ancient. "Where are we?" she asked weakly. "Safe," Liam replied. For now, she tried to sit up, but her body trembled. "You used too much power," Liam said. "You should rest." She shook her head. "No, I can feel it changing me. I can't stop it anymore." "What is it?" he asked. "What's happening to you?" She looked at him for a long moment, then slowly sat up, her hands in her lap. "When I was created," she began, "there was a plan. I was made from two bloodlines, yours and mine. A bridge between species, a key to peace." Liam froze. "You're part human." She nodded slowly. "My creators believed unity was possible, but the humans who found us, they didn't. They saw me as a weapon, not a hope." Liam's heart sank. "All this time? You've been hiding who you are?" "No," she said gently. "I've been hiding who I might become." She turned her hand, and light formed above her palm. Not just a glow this time. It shaped itself into a living map. Stars, systems. Path shifting like a puzzle. "This is where they are," she said. "My people, the ones who survived." The stars twisted again, and one system blinked red. "And this," she said, "is where the final weapon is buried." Liam blinked. "Wait, what weapon?" Sira looked into his eyes. "The humans who created me also created a failsafe, a machine. Designed to erase what they feared, me." Liam stood up, angry and afraid. "They built something to destroy you. Even after creating you from both worlds." Sira nodded. "If I lose control," she said quietly, "it will activate." Liam shook his head. "That's not fair," he said. "You're not a danger. You saved lives. You saved me." Sira's hands began to tremble. The glow around her was pulsing too fast now. "I feel it waking inside me," she whispered. "My mind. My body." Changing, Liam stepped forward. He placed his hand on her shoulder. "Then we fight it," he said. Together, she looked at him, her eyes wet with tear-silver tears. "You don't understand," she said. "If I lose control, I won't know you anymore. I might hurt you." Liam smiled softly. "Then I'll remind you who you are, even if I have to say it 100 times. You're not a weapon, you're not a project. You're Sira." She leaned into him, resting her head on his chest. "I was alone for so long," she whispered. "Then you gave me fries." Liam laughed softly. "Best fries I ever shared." Suddenly, the ship's lights dimmed, the engine stuttered. The navigation screen flashed red. "Warning, ship intercepted. Docking initiated." Sira stood up, her glow rising again, outside the window. A massive ship appeared sleek, silver, silent. It bore no flags, no symbols, only a pulse of white. Light across its hull. "It's them," she whispered. "My people." Liam watched the ship carefully. "Is that good or bad?" Sira didn't answer right away. Then she said, "That depends on whether they remember me as hope. Or as a threat." Cliffhanger. The docking ramp opened with a hiss. Sira and Liam stood at the door, side by side, as the first figure stepped out tall. Glowing and silent, Sira whispered, "If they see you as an enemy, I'll protect you." Asterisk. The ramp of the alien ship lowered in silence. Cool mist flowed out, wrapping around Liam and Sira like ghostly fingers. The light from inside was soft but unsettling. Not warm, not cold, just. Watching, three figures stepped out. They moved with a strange grace, taller than humans, with glowing patterns across their robes. Their faces were smooth and pale, with no mouths, only is large, silver, and endlessly deep. Liam's breath caught in his throat. They didn't look angry. They didn't look kind either. They looked like they were waiting for something, maybe a decision, maybe a mistake. Sira stepped forward. Her glow dimmed a little, as if her body was adjusting to their presence. One of the aliens raised a hand. No words came out, but Sira flinched. Liam reached for her. She shook her head gently. "No," she whispered. "They're speaking." Not with sound, but inside. She closed her eyes. For a moment, the ship went silent. Liam felt like time stopped. Even the lights on their own ship froze, mid-blink. Then Sira opened her eyes again. They were brighter, now sharper. Her voice was calm. "They came to take me back." Liam took a step forward. "Is that what you want?" Sira looked at him, her face unreadable. "They say I am becoming what I was meant to be," she said slowly. "A bridge, a weapon, a queen. They don't want me to remember this life." She added, "This ship, the fries, you." Liam shook his head. "You're not a title," he said. "You're a person." Her hands trembled. "I can't stop the change," she said. "They said if I stay with you, I will become unstable. They think I'll lose control and destroy." Myself, Liam stepped closer. Then let me break with you. He said, if you fall apart, I'll be right there. The alien figures turned slowly toward him. One of them stepped forward. A low hum filled the air like pressure building inside his skull. Then words formed in his mind, not spoken, not heard just. Place, you are the variable. Human, you are her anchor and her flaw. Remove yourself, and she will rise. Liam's jaw clenched. I'm not leaving her. He said out loud, even if you erase me. Sira gasped. A shockwave of light burst from her chest. The alien figures stepped back. Her glow was changing again, not just light, but color, movement, emotion. You threatened him, she said. To control me, that's not evolution. She continued, that's fear. The ship around them began to hum. Her energy was syncing with the systems. With the stars, with something beyond, Liam held out his hand. She took it. Their fingers laced together, and her glow spread to him. For the first time, he felt her not just beside him, but inside him, memories, feelings, hopes, fears, hunger. Silence, all of it flowed between them like water. She turned to the aliens. I choose this, she said. Not because he's perfect, but because he made me feel like I was more than a design. One of the aliens lowered its head. It didn't speak again. Instead, it stepped back into the mist. The others followed, disappearing into the ships. Light, the ramp lifted again. Slowly, but Sira didn't move. She stayed on their side. She had made her choice. Liam sat down, exhausted. The glow around her faded a little, still there, but calm now, like fire after a storm. You just told your people no, he said. Sira nodded and maybe told fate no, too. He smiled. I knew fries were powerful. She laughed for the first time, light, short, but real. Then the lights on their console blinked red. A new signal came through. This one was human. Liam leaned in, his smile fading. Station 9 to unidentified ship. You are ordered to return and surrender Subject 7 immediately. Failure to comply will be treated as an act of war. Sira looked at Liam. Her face was calm, but her voice was low. They want to take me back again. Liam stared at the screen, then looked at Sira. Then maybe it's time we stop running, he said, and start fighting. Sira's eyes glowed once more, not with fear, but with purpose. The stars outside no longer looked peaceful. A fleet of ships hovered beyond the rim of Station 9, dark shapes against starlight. Armed and silent, inside the scout ship, alarms blinked red. The voice from the station repeated its warning, return Subject 7, or face consequences. Sira stood by the window, her body glowing again, but this glow was different. Not fear, not pain, power. Liam watched her closely. He had seen her scared. He had seen her angry. But now she looked ready. You don't have to fight them. He said, yes, she replied, I do. She reached into a side panel of the ship and pulled out something small, a thin capsule, glowing softly. This is my core, she said. If I overload it, I can stop them all. Liam stood quickly. No, he said. There has to be another way, if you do that. I know, she interrupted. I was made to be a weapon, but you made me feel like something else. I don't want to be their weapon anymore. Liam stepped closer. Then be something else, he said. Be what you are when you're with me. She looked at him. Her hand tightened around the capsule. You gave me fries, she said softly. You gave me a name. You reminded me what kindness feels like. I never forgot. Outside, one of the human warships moved forward. Its weapons charged, glowing, humming, ready. Liam grabbed a small tray from the emergency kit and placed it on the control panel. He opened a sealed food pack inside. A single fry, cold, soggy, but still there. Sira looked at it. Her eyes shimmered. You kept one. She asked. I always do, Liam said with a grin. For emergencies? He offered it to her. She smiled slowly and took the fry. Then she turned to the console and placed her palm flat against it. The ship responded to her like it was part of her body. Energy surged. The lights turned gold instead of red. A signal burst from the ship coded. Complex, ancient, the warships froze. Their systems glitched. Weapons powered down without firing a single shot. Inside the station, lights dimmed. Every monitor showed the same thing, glowing symbol. The mark of Syrah's people. Then a voice filled the air across every channel, every speaker. We do not come in war. We come with the child you feared and she chose peace. Syrah stood still, holding the fry like it was a crown. Her body stopped glowing. The ship went silent. Liam looked at her. Her face was pale again but calm. You stopped them, he whispered. She nodded, weak but smiling. I sent a message they would understand. Liam stepped closer. Are you okay? She laughed softly, almost overloaded. She said, but your emergency fry saved me. They sat down side by side, outside. The warships turned away, one by one, leaving the space around Station 9 empty and quiet. The people inside. The station would talk for years about what they saw. Some would call her a threat. Others would call her a miracle. But to Liam, she would always be something else. A girl with glowing eyes, a broken past, and a hunger that brought them together. He looked at her. So, what now? Syrah leaned against him, tired but safe. Now? She said, we find a better place. Maybe one with fries that don't come in emergency packs. They both laughed. The stars outside blinked gently, like they were smiling. 2 final lines. Liam reached for the tray and took the last fry. He held it up between them. Just one rule, he said. Syrah smiled. No one else gets these but me. And when someone tried, she still growled.